What's up? What you're about to see is an interview I did with Marcos, who's a ghostwriter that went from $1,000 to $30,000 a month in around 6 months. It's a crazy story. We spit game about Twitter, monetization, how to deliver, and just how to monetize your own Twitter. This is not just for you if you're a ghostwriter. This is for you if you'd like to land clients for your service. So I thought it was great, got great feedback from the audience, and hopefully you'll get value from it. See ya. What's up, Marcos? All right,
What's up?
everybody, can we give Marcos a warm welcome, please? Would you guys mind? What's up, Marcos? Good to see you here. All
Yeah,
right,
pleasure. Been a while,
thank you for doing this. Appreciate it.
of course.
So, quick introduction on Marcos. He's a huge inspiration, but let me tell you exactly like how. So, fighting from the red corner, Marcos Ruiz, this dude joined Cash Creators, which is maybe the community a few of you guys are in August. And his message was, "What's up, everybody? I'm Marcos from New York City, making around $1,000 a month." He was pacing $90,000 for Q1, pacing 50K for February. In 6 months, he went from $1,000 months to $50,000 months. And this dude doesn't have more than 11,000 followers or more than 12,000 followers. He's crushing it. Just a huge inspiration for everybody who really believes and knows that likes in cash. And when he said, "Yo, JK, I want to do a class," I told him, "Okay, we're going to do it, but there's two conditions for the class. Number one, it's got to be great." And I checked it out and it's really great. And number two is it's got to be free. So for you guys, there you go. Just some value for you, just so you can make some more money from your Twitter. So with no further ado, Marcos, welcome to the masterclass.
What's up, guys? Yeah, it's been a while. It's an interesting feeling because I was in that seat, in August, September. So it was when this group used to be called the Traffic and Offer Circle, and then it went to the Cash Dojo, and now it's the Cash Creators. I feel like I've been through the whole life cycle. But yeah, no, I wanted to do more of a kind of a keynote style. So I've done this in the past where I've done very specific slideshows, but this way I'm going to do more like a keynote style, so I can answer questions, go through my story, and kind of give you a little bit of background. So a little background about me. I've been kind of in the online business space for 6 years, just trial and error. Maybe a lot of you can relate where you jump from thing to thing. I did affiliate marketing. I had a blog. Did crypto, day trading, ecom, fail. Was in college at the time, graduated in 2021. Kind of after I went through all of those business phases, one day I kind of just came across some copywriting YouTube video and I was like, all right, I'm going to give it a shot. So, one thing leads to another. I get on Upwork and I'm doing blogs for $20 a pop for about a month. I made like $300 on Upwork. I was like, holy crap, this is terrible. I felt like a slave. It was so bad. And then, naturally, through the natural life cycle, I hop on Twitter. Now my feed is all entrepreneurs and writing. And that's where I come across JK. And he's like, Twitter ghostwriting. I'm like, Twitter ghostwriting? Because, growing up, when I heard ghostwriting, I thought of like Drake and like artists and rappers used to have ghostwriters. And that's the only thing I knew about ghostwriting. I didn't realize that ghostwriting could be a thing for business. So then I'm like, okay, this is cool. And, if you heard my last 5 years, I'm a big hopper. So I'm the tactic hunter. JK always calls you the tactic hunter if you go from one thing to another.
I hate tactic hunters.
I was a tactic hunter for a very long time. So I hopped to a new one. I'm like, okay, JK has this free thing called Likes Ain't Cash. He has a checklist and he has this like $40 a month group. I'm like, all right, I'm going to join this group and see what it's all about. So I'm good at implementing, as a tactic hunter, I was already kind of went through the process of taking, 20 courses at this point. So I'm making, $1,000 a month, not even like from Upwork and whatever other side hustles I could do. And I'm like, okay, ghostwriting. He's like, yeah, my last 3 ghostwriting were 25,000 each. So like 25,000. I'm like, if I sign one of these, and mind you guys, I'm living in New York City. So my living expenses are, way more than I was making, but I had made enough off of like lucky crypto stuff that I could survive. But my savings account were depleting, to the point where I started to panic a little bit, which is why I was really like, okay, I'm going to go to this JK group and hope it does something for me. So I find JK's checklist, like saying cash, whatever. It's like send 10 cold DMs a day, tweet, confidence proving tweets, threads, and auto DM a week. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I don't really care what people think at this point. I had been on Twitter since 2011, just like as a troll. And I was doing soccer Twitter and like all these sports Twitter, just like a personal account. And I was like, you know what? Let me transition and I do this. So I followed the checklist for about 2 weeks. I sent hundreds of DMs, and after about 100 plus, maybe 150 DMs, I get on a call with this guy. First client, $1,000 a month. I was like, holy crap! I just got $1,000 a month client sending cold DMs with the exact script that JK was providing at the time. I have like a 2,000 followers promising someone 10,000 followers. I was like, I felt like the biggest imposter syndrome you could think of. So $1,000 a month, and I get that guy.
Did
he
he
ended up
ever
being
was he ever like, dude, you don't have 10,000 followers. What are you talking about?
yeah. So this is what happens, and this, maybe a lot of you will run into this. Is I had my cold DM was promising that, but after a long, drawn out conversation before the call, we kind of got it down where he was like, "That's not my budget. I don't really want to do that. But if you want to just write some threads for $1,000 a month and like no guarantee, we'll do it." And I was like, you know what I already knew about business is you need social proof to actually get future clients. So I was like, you know what, let me get a client under my belt. And I'm a white belt in the group at the time, right? So I signed this client and I'm like, $1,000 a month. I am $1,000 a month. Now I'm a blue belt. And I was like, I was big into MMA my whole life. So I was like, I'm a blue belt. And now I was starting to take the group serious, right? And a lot of you are in this group, so you understand what I'm saying, right? So $1,000 a month, I'm a blue belt. I have a client. Everything was going great. So big problem now is like, okay, you have to get results for people. So now I'm binge watching JK's video, how to ghostwrite, how to do, because I was like, get client first, learn how to do it second, which is what a lot of you should be doing. So I decided to start writing tweets for him, and I got some decent results, not the best results, but for a very low ticket client, I was getting experience, I was learning skills, I was starting to understand the problems and challenges you face when you're delivering these services. So I take the results that I get for him and I start posting online my testimonials, my case studies, my confidence proving tweets. So then I get another inbound lead and I'm like, okay, let me try to close this guy now that I have social proof. So what's really important is getting that first client, no matter if it's free or cheap. Luckily for me, I got one at $1,000 a month. But if I could do it all over again, I would have saved my time and try to get someone for free so I could get that social proof earlier. So I start posting my social proof, screenshots of the likes, screenshots of the retweets. I had, he sent me a message. He was like, I got 7, he was a SaaS guy, software. He's like, I got 7 free trials from that tweet. So I tweet that out. Now I'm getting inbound leads, like slowly, not like pouring in, but one a week, one every 5 days. And I was like, okay, now my goal was to try and close a second client. Long story short, I closed a second client. I hit 3K a month. This is the best day of my life. I posted in the group.
I love how you double your prices. You got one client and you're just like, yeah, fuck it, double.
Oh, I've kept that, and I'll get into that towards the end, but man, raising your prices is a superpower. Man, like, and this was over maybe a 2-month span. So I started in late August, early September. I would say by end or middle of October, I'm at like 3K a month. Maybe early October. So then what I knew, and now, because I had a lot of trust in the cash dojo and the processes of like saying cash and all of that stuff. So I'm like, okay, let me reinvest it. If I know one thing and I know this is working for once in my life, I'm going to stick to it and I'm going to double down. And if you know anything about commitment, it's hard to commit without monetary investment. So I was like, you know what? F it. I'm just gonna and I told you guys like my savings were dwindling at the time. I'm in New York City. I had like 3 more months of expenses. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a leap of faith. So I joined Tweets and Clients, which is the upper echelon of JK's stuff. So I joined that. I reinvested pretty much everything into it. And I was like, all right, now I'm an implementer. I'm not a tacticonor. Like I need to implement for my life. And savings dwindling in New York City, reinvested everything I had made. Within 3 weeks, I had a new client for another 3K a month. Upsold that client the month after that. That client was paying me 8K a month, and I had signed another client in that span. So within about 3 to 4 weeks, I was well over 10K a month. So from end of August, early September to beginning of November, which is 60, 70 days, 0 to 10K a month ghostwriting, which was insane. So the moral of that story is really just like taking a leap of faith and going all in on something. A theme of my journey was that I had never committed to one thing. So I had finally committed to one thing. And in less than 90 days, I had, $10,000 a month. And what's not talked about enough is when you go from 0 to 10K a month or even 5K a month or sign 2 clients, it's a snowball effect. So now I'm just, not only did I reinvest the money, I am reinvesting all of my testimonials and my social proof from the clients that I've been getting onto my timeline. All my threads were just client case studies, testimonials, and I'm growing followers at the time. I'm putting out auto DMs with case studies, 5K followers. This is right around this early November time is when my first interview with JK went up when I hit 10K a month. Which also got me leads. Like it's like nonstop. It's such a snowball effect. The hardest part is really like 0 to like 3K is the hardest part. I'd say in the time it went from 0 to 3K a month, I went 3 to 10K a month in the same amount of time, right? So my mindset was just reinvesting everything and just constantly recycling. It's a positive feedback loop, right? You get a client, get social proof, put it on the timeline, get a client, double your prices, get social proof, reinvest. You know what I mean? It's just constant. And then, within 60 days, you're there.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people ask, how do I get more inbound leads? And they think like it's the one thing that will get you the inbound leads. And the inbound lead is just kind of the tip of the iceberg. Everything that's below it is all the competence that you proved. So if we go back before you started shit posting a little bit, which you do now, by the way,
Right.
it's funny though, I enjoy it. But it was all how I got my client this one, how to do this, how to do that. You watched the interview, the one where you were like going to 10K. It was all game. Like just for context, everybody. I interviewed Marcos. You had what, like 5,000 followers at the time, right?
Not even. I hit 5K because of the interview, but I had like 4K.
Yeah, it was like 4K, right? And I interviewed Dakota, who's by the way at like 180K. And Marcos's interview got more views than Dakota's just because he proved, I mean, not saying like one's better than the other, but during that interview, Marcos just went all in. He just gave everything
Right.
away. And the problem that people encounter is they think, what if I give everything away and then people won't buy from me? And that's exactly why people buy from you, because when they realize how much Marcos knows or how much you know, they like process it as, oh my God, it's too much. You know what? Let me just hire them. And it's that giving up that gives you the money. You know what I mean?
It's like and that was intentional. Like I took that interview and when I'm talking, and this is how you should go about putting out your content. You should be putting out all of your content with the intention of getting people to buy from you, especially in that 0 to 10 to 20K range. Like you said, like now I can post about whatever I want because, when you hit a certain level in agency life, it's very much referral and word of mouth and upselling your current clients and trying to get massive results for your current clients. But like 0 to 10, 20, and 30K, you should just be all sales. Like everything should be trying to get new clients. I had 0 tweets on the TL that weren't auto DMs, threads, testimonials. You know what I mean? Like I even took that interview and I was like, okay, I'm gonna talk about my journey, but I'm gonna talk about my journey in an intentional way. And in that interview, I said something that I got 30 DMs from, and it was my goal as an agency, but as a ghostwriter at the time, is to make more money for my clients than they pay me. And I've continuously doubled and tripled down on that message. That's your goal when you're doing service work or any type of product, is to deliver more value than you're receiving. It should be something that Cold Email Wizard says. You need to deliver an asymmetric offer, an asymmetric amount of value. If someone gives you $1,000 a month, they should be able to receive $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month worth of value. And as you raise your prices, you just have to keep having more value given. So for me, I charge way more than I did back then, but I'm also providing way more value. And I also put that on the timeline. Like my pinned thread is like how a client made 100K a month. If my client's making 100K a month, they can pay me anything under 100K a month. You know what I mean? Like it's very common sense, but as a beginner, you get clouded. You have information overload, but in reality, you just have to follow the foundations, the checklists, the auto DM, the confidence proving tweets, the case study thread every week I was sending 10 to 20 cold DMs a day. But now, I mean, you got to understand there's market sophistication. So you should be sending 30, 40 cold DMs a day and be personal with it. Or you should be doing a lot of warm DMs. What I did back then might not work now. And I understand that.
Yeah, and a big one on this is, how people were shitting on the short form content people like a while ago, a few weeks ago?
Exactly.
And they were saying, dude, these DMs are dead. Like, don't call pitch. It's like, no, DMs are not dead. Your DMs are dead because of how you send them, because you are not good at it. Because
Right.
there are some that are really good, and those will get responses. I mean, you and I are the proof of it. I mean, we're here because of cold DMs, right?
It's all, yeah, market sophistication is so important. Like, you should be keeping eyes on and I'm always keeping eyes on my competition. Like if you're sending, like if you were a short form content agency, right? And everybody is memeing you on the timeline. They're making fun of you. They're talking shit. They're like, these guys are annoying. How can you now flip that to an advantage? Because if anything, now you have more traction. People want to look at your DM now just to make fun of you. So your open rate is going to be higher. So how can you now get that open rate to turn into a conversion? Okay, I would start my DM with something funny because everybody's already laughing at you. So just be the butt of the joke. You want to get a reply, right? So someone had DM'd me and they were like, yeah, this is your 10,000th short form content DM. But I was like, I'm going to open that, right? So the market sophistication is always changing. And, the interesting thing is when 3 to 4 months into like ghostwriting, I thought there would be more market sophistication, but there really isn't. The ghostwriting demand is higher than it was when I started. And it's, you know what I mean? And there's really not that many people going into it because there's other markets that are getting big, like short form content and stuff like that. Everybody's talking about the other markets, but in my opinion, the ghostwriting market is still very alive and well. That's just a side note.
Yeah, it's good. Although like there's when one dude that helps others quit porn join tweets and clients, that's when I was convinced like there's money everywhere. Like, oh my God, you charge $5,000 for that. But when it comes to ghostwriting, it's in any niche, really, there's the market and there's your competition, right? There's this amount of competition. And then that's not your competition. Your competition is the segment of that actually proves how good they are, because everybody else won't be taken seriously. So it's not the people that just are in that same niche you're competing to, it's the people proving their competence in that niche. And that circle is small. It's like ridiculously small. Nobody's posting client wins because nobody's good at it.
Right. And there's a couple of those, because I have an outline here. There's a couple of points I wanted to make about the groups, and especially in the beginner level, like that 0 to 3K followers within that 0 to 3K a month. Some of the frequently asked questions are like, how do you grow those initial followers and how do you get those initial results? Something I did and that I don't talk about a lot that I see nobody doing. And I was in this group, right? I was in this Discord. You can literally search my name and see these messages that I'm talking about. Everybody's like, oh, like, how do I get traction on my auto DM if, I don't have a lot of followers? Hey, how do I go viral? And this is like a big value proposition of ghostwriting. But like when I was in the group, when I was starting engagement groups in the Cash Dojo. I started a white belt engagement group for people 0 to 1,000 followers, a blue belt engagement group 0 to 1 to 10,000 followers. And I was like, nobody's doing anything for me. I don't know where to go. So I'm just going to start it. And I started inviting people from the Discord to the group. And we were just bouncing retweets off each other, liking and commenting on each other's stuff. But you got to get a little bit gritty and make the most out of the situation. I don't even know if JK knows this, but if you go and search my name and type in group, I have Telegram that they're expired. Telegram links to groups from people in the group. We were like, none of us can afford retweets. None of us know anyone in the industry. We don't have any networking potential. Like, we're all nobodies, right? So if we're all nobodies, let's all be somebodies to each other, right? So I had a group of like 10 to 20 people from the Discord, and we were just like retweeting and everything. And that got us a lot of traction. That led to, my 0 to 10K a month journey, was starting that networking group. And now that I have a little bit of social proof, I started getting followed by people in the industry. JK obviously followed me, but then, all the big names slowly start to follow you as you make a name for yourself. You got to think of money Twitter and Twitter in general as one giant country club, right? Like, nobody knows who you are. You got to work your way up, just like with the belt ranks in the group. You work your way up through money Twitter, right? JK followed me slowly but surely. Dakota followed me. All of these people start cold email wizard, like all the big names started to follow me. And what's that little thing under your profile that says who follows you is more important than says the number of followers, right? Because if I follow someone, if I click someone's profile and they have 1,000 followers, but they have 10 mutual followers in me, I'm more likely to follow them than if they have 100,000 followers with no mutual followers. So it's all about networking. So networking is very, very important. And I would say that's probably a top 2 contributor to what got me to 0 to 20K a month, maybe even 30K a month. And we're currently at a little over 30K a month. But man, I'm telling you, networking is everything. So that was the point I really wanted to make.
You dropped a gem there now that I really enjoyed, which is it's not the follower count that brings you the followers, it's who follows you. Below where it's like the recommended, it's like the little icons. That's the best follower magnet you'll ever have.
Right. And I want to, and like, just like for a visual, I'm going to open up this Zoom, right? So like if I follow and I go in here, right, and I follow David White, and David White now has me following him, and he continues to be consistent, and he's networking within this Discord. And now David Breyer and Eugene Popa, Florian, and Jason Hartford all follow David White, and they're mutual followers. Now JK follows Jason Hartford. So if JK now sees that Jason Hartford is following David White, he's like, all right, maybe I'll follow David White. And then it's just a ripple effect. Who follows JK? Dan Coe. Dan Coe now is like, oh, well, David White's followed by JK and this other guy. Now maybe I'll follow him. And it's just a ripple effect. Like networking is so important on Twitter. And like you guys should be making the most of being in a Discord with hundreds of like-minded people that are all grinding towards one goal. Like if all 85 of you started an engagement group and all followed each other and all liked and commented and retweeted each other's tweets, you have 80 retweets. It's so obvious, but nobody does it. Everyone's like, where do I get engagement? I saw someone post 2 days ago in the Discord, and I didn't answer it purposely because I wanted to wait. He's like, how do I get engagement on my auto DM if I have no followers? Talk to people in the group and get people to follow, to retweet and comment and say like, I'll do it for you, you do it for me. We're both at 50 followers. We're both absolutely nobodies. So how do you do it? Now you have 50 people that are at 50 followers doing it. Congratulations. Now all at 100 followers, and you're all using each other's audiences to peg each other up. That's how you grow from 0 to 500 to 1,000 followers. Once you hit 1,000 followers, you're home free. Just be consistent. You're going to hit 10K, I promise. And it's the same with the money, the networking. Get your first client, 1,000 a month, ask for a referral after you get banger results. Now you have 2 clients at 1,000 a month. Plus you posted the 1,000 a month social proof on the timeline, and you turned it into a case study thread. You also turned that case study into a Google Doc, which you gave away for free as an auto DM. And then you record a video going over the Google Doc of the case study. It's like you have infinite content. All it takes is one. You get 1 client, you make 1 little engagement group, you get 1 social proof, and now you're home free. It's literally just getting started and getting that one. And getting that one can be a grind, but you have to trust the process. You just have to grind it out, do the checklist, get that 1 client, and now you're good. So that's the golden nugget I hope you guys walk away from.
That was good. Let's dissect that. So the case study, what do you think about when you're crafting case studies? Do you give just completely everything away, or is it like more overview steps?
Yeah, so it's like a little bit of both, because a case study over a month period, like a month worth of results, there's so many nuances that it'd be too long for just like a thread. It'd be like 50 tweets. But I try to package it up into a digestible framework. So typically what's good for a thread hook, right, is like a framework or some sort of method or something like that, some 5-step thing. So I try to package it into some kind of digestible 3, 5, or 7-step framework. And then I lead with the results. So my result is my client did 100K a month using this 3-step process. And now I break down his success, and ultimately it's my delivery process, right? So if I'm selling ghostwriting and I can break down my process, I boil down my process into 3 big steps. I turn it into a 3-step thread, and then I just provide the context from that specific client. So if my client did 100K a month, what did we do for him specifically? X amount of threads. So in my pinned thread, I did 29 threads in a month for a client. 29 threads. So every single day, other than 2 days, which were auto DM days, we did a thread, and we got that exact quantifiable result, $140,000 in revenue off of 29 threads and 2 auto DMs, doing specific kinds. I wrote exactly the specific kind of thread, niche thread, storytelling thread, like all of that. So just turn the case study into some sort of 3, 5 step framework. And then now you can just recycle that framework for every case study you get. So if you have a client at 20K and 30K and you know, 1 million views, it's the same framework. You're just going to be saying it differently. It's like Twitter saying the same thing 1,000 different ways. So is your case study. if the results might be a little bit different or a little bit better, but the framework's the same, because ultimately, as you scale your business, you're just implementing the same framework over and over for different clients. That's how you scale.
Hey, if you're getting value from this, just know that Marcos joined Tweeting clients when he was around $4,000 a month, and now he hit his first 50K month and is making consistently $30,000 a month. So if you'd like to monetize your Twitter audience, go to tweetingclients.io and we'll hook you up. That's some good advice. Hope everybody's listening. Is like, this is applicable to all audiences. I steal my case study frameworks from John Constance, the health guy. I just stole it from him because I really like how he does it. It's very story based. You know what I mean? And when it comes to case studies, if you guys are writing some for your clients and you already have one, the best case study formula for me, it's showing others how they were in the same situation, but they're still doing better than them. Because then there's a little bit of ego involved. You know what I mean? It's like, oh man, like I gotta catch up.
And you know, the most important part about when you post case studies is to be intentional. Like, I don't post my case study to brag, and I don't post my case study so that aspiring agency owners can read my case study and be like, wow, I want to be like him. I write my case study so that a potential client reads the case study and they're like, I want that. Right. So like, if I can charge someone $5K a month and they can make $100K a month, that's the dream for them. So now I need to write a case study that makes it easy enough for them to understand so that they want to reach out. I don't want to be putting a 50-step case study thread out there so that my potential client can look at it and be like, I'm nervous. Like, I don't even know what that means. Why would they reach out? Like, I just want it to be just good enough and digestible enough and spam the results so that they can read that and like, okay, I'm going to shoot them a DM. And in your thread, in your case study thread, you should have a call to action. Shoot me a DM if you're X, Y, and Z and want X, Y, and Z. So don't go overboard on those threads. The most important thing.
Why do you choose to DM you instead of booking a call?
Because the organic, and what I've learned is that organic booking calls is just not as good. But another reason is that I can add the personality and drastically increase my conversion rate. Like, instead of, the way I look at it is like, if you post a book a call to action, you're just hoping that your landing page converts. I didn't even have a I didn't even say this. I didn't have a landing page from 0 to 20K a month, 0 to 30K a month. I didn't have a landing page, no website, didn't even own a URL. My business was called me. Like, I didn't have a business. I used my personal Gmail. I'm not going to say my Gmail, actually. My name, gmail.com, personal email, no website. All I did was DM people. I'm trying to remember what my bio said. My bio literally said, like, Twitter. Like, I like Twitter. Like, I tweet. Like, it was literally just, I tweet about tweeting. Like, it wasn't, all this crazy stuff. Like, the beginners get so overworked and overthinking all of the little things that don't matter. The only thing that matters is getting people on calls. Because once you get someone on call, you can give them all the context that they need to want to give you money. I'm going to make you more money than you're going to pay me. I promise. Like, that's what it boils down to. So all you got to do is get enough of those calls so that you can actually make some sales. Like I said, I didn't have a website. My website just finished 2 weeks ago. I've been in business for 7 months. So none of that matters. The most important thing is just building a personal connection. I'm reading a book. I forget what it's called, but it was referred by Brian Moncada, the adspend.com guy, how to make like every customer a lifetime customer. But something he said is, it's not B2B and it's not B2C. It's just H to H, human to human, right? B2B and B2C is like, you're so focused on the technicalities and the business and all that. But at the end of the day, you're dealing with another human being, and a human being wants to trust you and they want to like you if they want to work with you. You'll make more sales. If there's a guy that's competing with me and JK is a complete dick, and I'm just so nice to him, even if I don't have as much social proof, he's going to go with me because he's putting his trust in me because he got a good vibe. And I've gotten that on calls. They're like, someone said 2 weeks ago, they were like, I just talked to 2 other potential people that I'm going to work with, and they were like mad that I didn't want to close on a call. And like, I get a good vibe from you, man. Like, I'm going to think about it, but like, I get a great vibe from you. And I was like, yeah, sure, man. Like, let's do a follow-up call. Like, I have a great vision for you, blah, blah, blah. But I wasn't pushy. I was just like, human to human. You want to be, at the end of the day, like, as an agency, and I don't know if everyone here is an agency person, but as an agency, you have a capacity, right? So if you have a capacity and it's 10, if you blitz 10 and you hate all 10 people, it's going to be a terrible time. Like, take it slow and get people you want to work with that like you, and those customers will work with you forever. I've churned out very few clients in 7 months. everyone I've worked with, almost everyone we've worked with stays with us, right? So it's very few clients churn because you're just making a human to human connection.
Yeah, good point. Ryan has a heuristic for this. If you wouldn't go for drinks with them, like don't take them on as a client, because then they're just going to be annoying. You know what I mean? I will say though, one benefit you had, and everybody here can have when you hop on calls, is you could really not be A plus at calls and still close them just because they already trust you. Like a good salespeople does two things, right? It builds trust fast and it disqualifies fast. But if you build trust with your account, like it's so much easier to close people. So the way you build trust is not by having the big account. That creates interest. That makes people look at you, but it doesn't make them trust you. Trust me, I did that. And people didn't trust me when I got the big account. That's why out of that PTSD, Lexing Cash was born. But if you post proof, that is what builds a trust. That's why I'm big on doing it every day, posting what you know every day. And by the time people get on a call, they're just kind of, it's more of a formality. They already sold by the time they got on a call with you.
Trust is everything. This is why, and a lot of people can probably relate to this, but your easiest close will be the person that was referred to them by a friend. Like the person that refers you is going to give you the easiest close of your life. Like I've had people who were referred by people I know closed in like 5 minutes. They were just like throwing money at me because I didn't have to convince them to trust me, right? Their friend referred them to me. So like, there's a couple of ways to build trust, and one is like posting social proof from people that they know would be nice. Also, is like who follows you is nice. Like if JK follows me and all these big people follow me, like probably pretty trustworthy. And a good example of this is when I had my website done a few months ago. I reached out to this guy with like 1,000 followers. If it was 1,000 and he has no profile picture, if he has 1,000 followers and nobody I follow follows him, would I have reached out to him for the website? No. But all of these people that followed him, was like 27 people that I follow him. I only follow 200 people, so I was like, okay, this guy's probably trustworthy. So I reach out to him. One thing leads to another, I give them money. So it's like he said, it's all about building trust. And that's another reason why you do the DMs, because you can build trust on those DMs other than just like booking a call. And you also realize that a lot more people will cancel if they just go straight to booking a call rather than having a DM conversation with you.
That's right. Yeah. I want to take it like back full circle when you said also about the importance of networking in the beginning. Like networking is what gets you those follows. And I feel like the way growth is taught like on Twitter is wrong, because they teach you how do you want to grow. If you want to grow, what do? You comment on other people's stuff, right? But the way that's done, it's just so annoying every time, because you're trying to tailor for the followers, not the big account. So it's kind of baity. And I received some great advice from Oliver Canton. He said, when you want to comment on their big accounts, prioritize the relationship with the big account, not to steal their followers, because then they will like you. They'll see you're different and then they'll follow you. And them following you will result in more followers than if you tailor to the followers in the first place. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I mean, the people, and I know there's going to be some of you that are doing this, like stop just trying to hit your engagement goals every day. Like I used to have a set aside time where I would engage with accounts, right? Like I'm going to engage on 20 accounts today, 20 big accounts for my Dream 100. And then what I started to do slowly is, instead of so I would use the tweet hunter feature of just like the first 20 and I just write anything. Now, instead, I actually just engage with the tweets I like and tweets that I actually have something to add or actually have some sort of contrarian opinion with. Like if you reply to my tweet and it's just rephrasing what I said, I almost want to block you, but I'm not going to, but I almost want to. Like, I'd rather you just not answer. Like, I'd rather just give me nothing, because if you just keep replying to people with just rephrasing what they're saying, like I don't care. Like, you got to engage like a human being. Like if you're at a bar and you're going to go up to talk to someone and you're having a conversation, you're not going to just, if he says something to me, I'm just going to rephrase what he said back. That's weird. You're just like, you're a weirdo. Like, you got to say something to add to the conversation. You know what I mean? It's like real life. Like, think of Twitter as a real life bar. Like, and Twitter is not formal like LinkedIn. So stop doing these like weird AI rephrasing. Like, you're not adding anything. Be a human being, and that's how you build real connection. Like, when I was starting, I had 2,000 followers. I mean, I was getting replied to by the big accounts because I was just talking, like no like perfect sentences, 3-line replies, like just like that was funny, dude. Like, you're a beast. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, how do you explain being a human to humans? Like, just be a human being, right? So don't reply with these weird robotic replies. Reply to tweets that you're actually interested in so that you might have something to add to the conversation, and you'll get so much more out of it. And if anything, it's doing negative. If you just force 20 replies in 15 minutes of just rephrasing, you're going to do more harm than good. You're going to get hidden. You're going to get blocked by the big accounts, I promise. And now you're really going to be long term. You're going to be like, why am I blocked by JK? It's like it's probably because you were being a weird AI. So, sorry, tangent.
There's a few people. One time someone joined Tweets and Clients and his VA got into Tweets and Clients as well. And the VA was like, yo, JK, like, I want to do this, but you blocked me on Twitter. Can you unblock me? Like, oh, fuck. The other time somebody got on a sales call and I had him blocked. So I had to unblock him. So, my closer could actually deliver the thing. It was just weird. But I will say one thing. I wanted to kind of point back because you've dropped so many nuggets in the conversation, by the way. If you guys are enjoying this, can you say something in the Q&A chat just so we can know that Marcos is, he's driving value for us. Appreciate you, Marcos. Thank you.
Thank you.
But one thing I'd like to say is this is something that you can kind of take a detached perspective on because you've made some money, like you're not worrying about it. But when it was like go time, right? When it was you were first starting out, I like that you were like, dude, forget about like engagement, forget about everything, just get calls on your calendar. And you just went hard and you focused on what you can control, when you had no option. Can you talk about it, like kind of what was going through your mind at that time?
Yeah, so I grew up kind of an introvert. I was a gamer. I kind of swore against the sale. Like I never wanted to do sales calls, which is what led me to jumping from thing to thing. I was always a little bit nervous about it. And I kind of realized, and I think Alex Hormozi says this, but just stop being cute and just do what you know you need to do, because most of you need to just have a bunch of sales calls and sell people. And you just need to fill your calendar, but you want to find excuses for other things to do and why it's not working. But at the end of the day, the only thing that's going to make you sales is you. And the only thing that's going to get you sales is sales calls. So everything, 99% of your work when you start is get sales calls. Everything that goes into getting sales calls, sending DMs and posting social proof, sending DMs nonstop, commenting and networking, and all of that is all you need to do all day. Like if you can send 50 to 100 DMs, if you have time, do it. Like that's all that matters. And when, the first 6 months of business, my days were split into two halves. I woke up, I did some writing, I helped, deliver for my clients, did a little bit of engagement. Second half of my day from literally 12 to 6 p.m. sales calls. And I was just like, I will. And if I didn't have calls to fill my calendar, guess what? I'm getting more sales calls. And that's it. And that was 6 months, just right in the morning, sales calls in the afternoon, 12 hours a day. Like that's it. And guess what? That's how you start a business and get it off the ground. And that's how you make money. So stop being cute was the thing I needed to tell myself. And I'm 25 now. I've been at this since I was 18. I wish I had told myself earlier. And if you come away with anything, it's stop being cute, focus on one thing and do what you know needs to get done. And that's the sales.
My man, that's some good stuff. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
So yeah, we're gonna transition into a few things before, but what was kind of life before you had that like offense mindset and that like stop being cute mindset, and what impact did it have?
Yeah. Honestly, it was just like very, for lack of a better word, degenerate. Wake up, just kind of like sit at my computer and like try to make money and just do random things. I had no structure, wasn't making a lot of money. I kind of didn't have direction. And then I kind of just was like fed up with it one day. And this will happen to most people who kind of go through this, is like one day you're just going to be sick of your own shit. And you're going to be like, okay, it's time to actually do what needs to be done. Luckily for me, the stars aligned and that I was able to find, at the time, Traffic and Offer Circles, but now the Cash Creators. I was able to find the checklists, and I was able to find a community of people, basically all just ghostwriters. And I was like, all right, I need to just do what says on this list and just do it and see if it works. Cause I've never actually sat down and committed to anything for months at a time. So, before, no structure, no structure, lack of motivation, and not much money. And then after, it was just regimented structure, discipline. Discipline equals freedom. That's a big nugget. And I've been following that for a while. Is Discipline Equals Freedom by Jocko Willink. Great book. And then just, do what is laid out for you. Like when you get your 0 to 10K a month, all you have to do is replicate the success of someone that's already done it prior to you. And I knew that someone had done it prior, the JKs and the Dakotas of the world. Like, if they could do it, they're not better than me. And like, I have an ego. So I'm like, I'm better than them. So like, I'm just going to do exactly what they said they did and see if it works for me. And it did. And it's not that hard. It was really just, you have to commit and be disciplined, like, and be okay with that. And just, it's kind of just having resolve. You just have to have the resolve to get after it and be disciplined and follow a regimen.
Yeah. Sometimes we need to be reminded more than we need to be taught. You know what I mean?
Yes, I love that quote.
Yeah, it's great. So before we hop on the Q&A, maybe like 5 more minutes. One last thing is, guys, Marcos, like his jump, and you heard it here, it came with tweets and clients. Like that's when you started making real money, wasn't it?
Yes.
So what, like, if you could point like maybe the 1 or 2 things that were the most valuable to you from it, what would they be?
Looking back, and my answer might have changed over time, but looking back, the access and network was probably the biggest thing for me. I joined Tweets and Clients, and dozens of people with tens and hundreds of thousands of followers follow me, which was nice. You have access to 100 plus people who are doing the same thing, but they're not beginners anymore, right? So at the start, it was me. I was a beginner, and all of my other people were beginners, and we all were just getting after it. And I got myself off the ground. But then entering, it's like entering the higher level VIP room of people that are at a new level, all engaging with each other's stuff, all helping each other out, asking each other questions. I mean, I wish you could show it, but it's like, I literally, like, you're in the group, we were sending screenshots of our DM conversations. Like, what could I do better here? Like that's a daily occurrence. I mean, it's just a higher level of masterminding. Like, of course, the course material is great, but at the end of the day, the network, and anyone can attest to this that's ever invested a lot in a mastermind. And I'll bring it up because I was just dissecting his business this past weekend, but Brian Moncada from adspend.com, he paid $68,000 for the Cole Gordon mastermind, right? And like, everyone that invests tens and twenties and hundreds of thousands of dollars in masterminds will always say the biggest thing is the network. So the network I got, the access to being able to bounce ideas off of people in our DMs, DM scripts, like all of that stuff that's like the most priceless thing. Because obviously the course is great, but you take the course once. It's like, what after that, right? So yeah. The support and I mean the group, right? Like, especially when I started, I mean, I'm sure like the group, I was asking, bear questions, just like nonstop one-on-one questions, like, JK, what do I do here? What do I do here? What do I do here? Like, I was asking contracts and DMs and sales scripts. Like, I just ask an F ton of questions, and eventually, you get to where you need to be.
Yeah. In the beginning, it's like, I kind of see it as Formula One. Like, first, it's like, we're the mechanics. We're crafting your offer, your position, and your business. Like, it's very hands-on. And in the end, we kind of turn into the control tower because you get it. You know how to drive. You just need to drive. You know what I mean?
And my questions over time and like the things I've said have slowly just evolved into more and more specific high level questions, right? Like, I just asked, like, last week, like, my question when I started was probably way different, but last week I was like, how do I include a revenue share percentage deal into a contract to legally, like, it's like the most specific. That's the question I asked like last week. But when I first started, it was like, what could I have said better here to get this guy on a sales call? Like, it's just very varying levels.
I mean, when you started, those were $4,000 a month questions. Now you're asking $30,000 a month questions.
Right. Right.
You evolve. You're better now.
Right. And that's that's the best. That I like that a lot about Tweets and Clients, is that it's not just like a here or there. It kind of has a ramp to get from the beginning to the end, 0 to 100K a month. Like, it's really, they're all different parts of the process, but they're all there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, appreciate it, man. And last thing before we get into the Q&A, what would you say to someone listening right now that was kind of on the fence of booking or not a call with Tweets and Clients?
You don't get anything from not booking the call. It's like, just take it. Like, I mean, I told you my story, like, leap of faith. I'm a big leap of faith guy. And I also understand that investment is everything, like I said. And if you go to my screenshots from, JK's post like last week, is when I started, I was making a couple $100 on Upwork. I reinvested that into this group. And then, after $50 a month, I made a couple thousand, I reinvested that. And then and I'm at 30K a month. So maybe I'll reinvest it into something crazy. We'll see. So we're working our way up. It's all, that's the natural life cycle of business. And when you get to this point, you'll realize that I'm right.
There you go. Can we
Yeah.
can we disclose what's your next move as in where you live in? Can we talk about that?
Oh yes. We just leased rather a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom pool villa in Bali, Indonesia. So we're gonna go vibe over there. I'm actually lowering my cost of living to New York, but quadrupling the square footage and adding a pool. And we have cleaners, and we're gonna get a private chef. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. The villa does not come with tweets and clients, but the $30,000 a month
Right.
does
Yeah.
come with tweets and
Yeah,
clients. Just disclaimer real quick. All right, let's go. Questions. I'm gonna read them out to you, and I'm gonna filter them, and then so
cool.
how would you go about proving your competence if I have a non-ROI offer?
Right. So non-ROI offer. Whether you have an ROI offer or not, and whether it's quantifiable or not, like there's still a dream transformation in there. So your hook and your case studies and your confidence proving tweets are still going to include whatever dream transformation. I mean, if you don't have a dream transformation, you don't have an offer ever at all. So you have a dream transformation. So like there's a guy I know he helps people quit porn. That's not quantifiable, especially with money, but it's still a dream transformation. So include your dream transformation in the hook, and then provide again the 3, 5, or 7-step framework to acquire that dream transformation. Before and afters. So if there's an ideal client that you're going for, a dream prospect, what do they look like? I don't know if this is in Likes and Catch. What's your ideal client avatar? Who are they? Put that, and then what are they going to be after they buy your offer? And now you have a case study. Now you have confidence proving tweets. And now all you have to do to prove your competence is give them the framework to get from A to B. I mean, obviously that's your secret, but like JK says, give them the sauce, and then you're just selling the implementation. So you're giving them the exact framework that they need, but you're selling them to help implement that framework. So that's how you sell a non-IRA offer.
There you go. Somebody, what was a quit porn guy the first that came to your mind? Because if you can make $5,000 coaching others how to quit porn, you can make money with anything you want.
Yeah, that's the most obscure non-ROI offer that I know. So that's how you can sell anything.
And we kind of did it here, right? Because we were selling the ROI, but we're like, this guy also leased a villa in Bali,
right.
So you can sell the lifestyle. For fitness, that's a big one, selling the lifestyle of what you want to get your clients to be like.
Right.
By the way, Marcos' ad it's Marcos Ruiz with a Z at the end on Twitter.
Yeah, follow me.
Yeah, and hire him.
That too.
Yeah. Okay, so any tips for growing your Twitter as a musician or artist?
As a musician artist, I would be on video.
Yeah.
Your best bet is to, and obviously this is just more like personal advice. I know musicians. Your best bet is to actually get your music in front of people. So video and audio, and then just redirect them to your Twitter and add personality with your Twitter. Because Twitter you're really just building personality with text, but you're not going to be able to translate music with text. So if you're a musician, like a rapper, like your Twitter is just going to be supplemental for your diehard fans, but where you're going to get the audience is TikTok and YouTube and stuff like that. 100%.
Good. Do you use Twitter ads? And if so, how?
Twitter ads I've been dabbling with. The ad relevance isn't great yet. It's something I do know is that some people have been saying that you can get like under $1 per follower if you perfect it. I don't think it's necessary for beginners for the context of this call. I think it's more something like down the line, like to scale, but you don't need Twitter ads right now, but dabbling with it.
Somebody with 200,000 followers just joined Tweets and Clients just now.
Really?
Nice. Yeah. It's gonna be fun. I think you know her, but yeah. Anyway, guys, book a call, join Tweets and Clients, and we're gonna take you to $30,000 a month, like we did with Marcos. Like, here's the proof. And then I'm gonna interview you on my YouTube, and you're gonna be a huge case study, and everybody's going to know your name. So why not? You don't lose anything by not booking a call. All right, let's keep going. What are some, we're gonna tactic hunt. What are some DM strategies for like leading people into talk to me and then getting them to book a call quick?
Reach out to them if they engage with your content or they followed you or anything like that. I'm assuming this is like a cold DMs. There's only one tactic for cold DMs, and that's to send it, right? So for the warm DMs is, contact people who've engaged with you, showed interest, replied to you. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to find them warm leads. And then reach out to them with, hey, like, why'd you follow me? Hey, what made you engage? Like, or if they actually replied something that with like real genuine thought, add to that conversation, but privately, and it'll make them feel special that you reached out to them and wanted to have a private conversation. Treat it like a regular conversation and a networking conversation. And then to transition that to a sales call, oh, like I had some ideas, but it's just like easier on a call. Like you want to hop on a call. There you go. Simple.
There you go.
Again, human to human, not B2B.
Questions here for me and one for you real quick. What's the minimum criteria to join Tweets and Clients? You have to you have to make at least like $5,000 a month for it not to make sense. Marcos is different though, because he's built different, but you got to make at least $5,000 to like
built different.
Yeah. But you're different though, because you're like, yeah, I got to make it happen. And like, I'm not going to make you work as hard as Marcos worked, Is there someone in Tweets and Clients who does lead generation? Yeah. Livy Erola, $50,000 a month with 16,000 followers.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, like every agency is lead gen. Short form content is lead gen. Twitter ghostwriting is lead gen. Cold email is lead gen. Lead gen is lead gen. It's all lead gen. I mean, if you're especially, it's all lead gen. That's just like a sidetrack.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, it's true. Yeah.
That's why I don't really write for followers anymore. It's just like, it's all lead gen. That's the easiest way to sell.
And everybody wants leads. Everybody, you ask them, what do you want? More leads. What's the bottleneck of your business? It's more leads. Always.
You could boil it even farther. It's like, what do they want? More money. What are you selling? More money. I don't care how. Do they care? No. Like, well, I could be on Snapchat. If they're going to make more money, they're going to make more money.
Yeah. Well, last one. Well, is short form content? Do you think that would work?
Everything works. Everything works. Everything works. Everything works. You're overanalyzing.
Yeah. Ideas for an opener call DM when I'm reaching out to e-com store owners offering TikTok.
E-com store. Dude, I'm not an e-com store TikTok guy. Sorry. This is all you.
Send a testimonial of another client. Show them what they've done and tell them, it got me thinking we should explore possibilities together. Let me know. All right. All right, guys. I got to hop to the Tweets and Clients weekly call right now. And so I got to go. Hopefully I'll see you there, Marcos, if not now. But
I have a call. Anyway, I have another call at 12.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Well, thank you all for joining. This was the Marcos Ruiz Monetization Masterclass. Marcos, where can they find you and where can they hire you? Yeah,
it's Marcos Ruiz or at thebirdhouse.co or just thebirdhouse.co. If you want to book a call, that's it. Follow me if you're interested, shoot me a DM and I'll make you more money than you pay me.
Strong offer. There you go. Thank you all for attending. And if you could say something about Marcos and me on Twitter, we're going to engage with you. And 200,000 followers looking at your stuff can't hurt, Yeah. So
211 because I got I got 11.
No, but I got 188. So like it.
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah. At me and I'll retweet you. Free engagement.
Yeah. We'll engage with you, so don't worry about it. Can't hurt. So see you.
Cheers.
Thank you for listening to the Marcos interview. Now, if you enjoyed that, there's other videos over here you can watch, or you can just go to my Twitter and DM me if you'd like help monetizing your Twitter, not growth. Because likes are cool, but likes ain't cash.